ebooks. My proposition is about students should move toward ebooks in colleges. So so it should be all electronic textbooks. So usually we have issues like books, regular books takes up space, it's heavy, it's destructible. That's why I believe ebooks are much sufficient by three secondary claims, which are availability, environmental friendly, and it saves money. So I think it's pretty available everywhere when it comes to ebooks, because you don't have to wait for the shipping, simply could be bought anytime, anywhere online, just by buying it from the bookstore that isn't available anywhere. According to Daryl Sessoms, the writer from Secure Edge Networks, ebooks are available instantly and can save on time running to stores and waiting in line. Luckily, it could be lent online and returned after a while. My secondary claim that it's environmentally friendly. Ebooks saves hundreds of trees, even though the writer Elena Brown proves that it produces only 7.5 kilograms of carbon dioxide, which is much less than 168 kilograms of carbon dioxide that's produced from manufacturing tablets. By calculating it, that means an iPad that's manufactured could produce a bit more carbon dioxide than one paper book produces, which later then can download 20 e-textbooks and even more, according to Elena Brown. Although it uses a bit of electric energy, but it does its work right after all. My third secondary claim that it saves money. Andrew McNeil from Investopedia explains that ebooks are 60% cheaper than regular paper books. In fact, rental versions could be even cheaper depending on the period it will be lent for, guaranteeing that most likely will be returned as well. So, as a conclusion, I still think that ebooks are much sufficient to work on in colleges. That will be much convenient instead of carrying it around with loads of books. Although it's not flawless as a thought, but it's quite suitable for its availability, the amount of money it saves, and it's environmental friendly. That's it.
And do you have an outline to give me? All right, well, the proposition that you presented is phrased as a policy claim that students should be doing this, so that's a policy argument. I think that you can simply change it around pretty easily to turn it into a claim of fact, suggesting that there are several advantages that ebooks have over traditional books. That wouldn't have been that hard to do. So it's a little bit of a problem there, the way it's phrased as a proposition. There is a preview of what the supporting points are going to be, and you follow that structure. When you're in the preview, though, I think it's a good idea to use declarative sentences, and sometimes what you have are just sentence fragments reminding us about what the subject matter is, not what the inference is on each point. And that's really what you want to be telling us. You want to make sure that we understand excuse me, what your inference is. So write those out as declarative sentences. I think you were a little bit better when you got to the supporting structure and then you presented your claims. They did usually sound like they were stated as declarative sentences, and so that's a little bit better. The first one is basically you've got one quote on it on the availability issue. I'm not sure that there's a lot of controversy on that particular point, so that's a bit of an issue. There might be some controversy about access, for instance, depending upon how people obtain that book. If they're reading it online as opposed to downloading it, there might be an issue. I don't know about download issues when it comes to time, space, any of those sorts of things, or loading it up. There may be some issues on that. We'll leave that to the response speaker to figure out. On the environmentally friendly point, it was a little confusing. I think the point that you're making is that initially there might be a higher cost to the environment because of the production of the tablets or the computers that people are using, but in the long run, that cost is overcome by whatever savings there would be from not having to print additional books. So if you were just downloading one book, it doesn't make any sense, but if you're downloading multiple books, then environmentally it's more advantageous. That was the impression that I got of your argument. I just didn't think it was stated very clearly, and so you need to find a more effective way of presenting that particular point. Ultimately, I thought I got the point that you were making. I'm not sure everybody is going to get that same point, though. And then on the saving money thing, well, you've got one statistic. I assume that that's accurate. I don't know how accurate it is. It's probably accurate when it comes to the cost of production. I'm not sure how accurate it is when it comes to the sell point. And the other thing concerns if they all move to those sell points, whether or not it would be in the long term financial interest to always have that as the option. There may be some controversy about that issue, but you don't really give much background on it. You've got a single piece of information to support each of your points. And so it's a little underdeveloped, but I think there's not a lot of controversy on a couple of the points. And like I said, it was relatively easy to follow. Presentation-wise, you need to do a better job of talking to the audience. You have a tendency to look down and you're doing a lot of reading. You know what your argument is. You don't have to do all that much reading. The only thing that you might want to be reading to us is a quote or a statistic. Otherwise, you want to talk to us more. All right. Thank you.